This is how to set up the final artboard. Now the final artboard is 13 by 19. That's what we're going to be printing on. And so the first thing, you're going to just set up one artboard. So
You're in QuickTime.
I'm in QuickTime, but I won't be. Here we go. File, new, and just set up an artboard that is 13, a width of 19. So it'll be the same orientation. By 13 tall. And then hit create. So here's my artboard, and that's going to be eventually the one that will be printed. So I'm going to go back to here, and as you can tell, I've done a terrible job. I haven't done 8, and I don't think these are actually very good. This is definitely a D student or an H student, whatever. So once you've selected which one of the 8 that you find the most compelling, then what I would suggest you do is, because you're going to have to grab the object itself plus the square that it rides in plus the name, right? So one of the first things you're going to have to do is start ungrouping things, because if you remember, all these squares came grouped, and unlocking stuff if you decided to lock it. So I'm going over to the layers palette right now. I'm unlocking layer 1 so that I can copy it. You can't copy anything that's locked. And then I'm going to then select the group, and then I'm going to hit object, ungroup, and then object, and I'm going to ungroup it again, because if you remember, both one course of squares was a group, and then both courses of squares was a group. So if I click now on one, I can click on them individually. All right, so what I'll do, let's say this is my lovely order one, and that's the one I want. I select it, and then I hold down the Shift key and I select the name. I Command C, and then I go over to my untitled board and Command V to paste it. Now I want to do the same stuff in terms of aligning it and all that kind of stuff. So the first thing I'll do is get a general alignment. I'm going to first group that, object group or Command G, and I'm going to move that into where I think it should be. I'm going to grab order, I'm going to place it over the top, and when I place it over the top, I'm going to select the whole thing, and I have my alignment tool, and I'm going to vertically align center, making sure that I'm not aligning to the artboard, but instead I'm aligning to the selection I made, so that now they align. So I now know that the word is directly over that object, and now I group that, or Command G, and then I go back and do the same thing to growth. So I'll again remember here to hit Shift Command G twice means I'm ungrouping both groups. I can tell by just selecting one of them. So now I'm going to select the whole thing, and it caught group growth as well. Command C, go back, Command V, and just basically go through the same process of grouping. Command G, putting this over, selecting both, and then centering them, and then grouping them, Command G. All right, does that make sense? So I kind of line these up. At some point, I'm probably going to want to make sure that these are in the same list. Remember, you have 6, so you're going to orient them to the artboard, again, so that they're nice and even. So each one is, so that growth might be a little close. Maybe have it hang out here. Right? And then you have the third one. The last thing you're going to do is you're going to name it on the bottom. So you're going to just grab a new, the type tool, and somewhere here you're going to put your name. And I believe the nomenclature is your last name underscore intro to design underscore assignment 3. Right? Does that make sense? And so that's what we're going to be looking at. All right. That's all I got for that last part.